What's going on, everyone? This is Jay from Premier Gaming Entertainment, and I wanted to bring a video about a topic that is not new. It's actually, a few days old, but at first I wasn't going to cover it because I didn't think it was any reason to really cover it, but wanted to actually still talk about it anyways. And what it is something about Coach Harbaugh. And not anything that he did per se, but about one of his former players talking about him. So I'll leave a link of the article in the description below if you want to check it out and read it for yourself. But in short, while he was coaching in San Francisco, one of his ex-players, I guess they didn't see eye to eye, and this has come to light, I guess, recently, when a radio interview was done and things were let loose in that interview. So the player that we're talking about is Brandon Jacobs. When I read the article, funny enough, a lot of people haven't heard of him. He hasn't been in the league for a while, but he did, have a few years where he was decent when he was playing with the New York Giants, and that's where he's known for as far as being in the league. Now, he did have a brief stint where he played on the 49ers. And during that year, that was one of the years that Coach Harbaugh was coaching the 49ers. And as it turns out, during that year that he was there, Brandon Jacobs, that is, that, he really didn't get any playing time. He felt he should have got the playing time. He got injured, and then when he got back, he couldn't get in the starting lineup or whatever the case may be. So, I guess this beef started from there. So what I wanted to talk about was the comments that he made on this radio show recently. So I don't have the exact quotes in front of me, but just to paraphrase, what Brandon Jacobs was saying is that when it comes to Coach Harbaugh, he doesn't know what he doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't know how to coach. He doesn't know X's and O's, and basically, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's getting players hurt, calling the wrong plays, and I guess also summing up that the assistants were doing the majority of the work and he wasn't doing anything. So, really strong comments from Brandon Jacobs about Coach Harbaugh. So I wanted to talk about it and just give my 2 cents on it and what I think about the whole thing. Now, I'm not going to go into any personal attack of Brandon Jacobs like a lot of people did, making fun of him and talking about him, and his play and all that, and making fun of him on his Twitter account and everything like that, because that's pointless. So I'm not going to do that. I just want to talk about the topic at hand and give my opinion of what he said. So, first of all, I don't think, now, this is just my opinion, but I don't think that, and sorry, I forgot to mention one other part of this before I get into that. He had basically said that, I guess his goal was to expose Coach Harbaugh, and by the time he's done, Michigan is going to fire him once he's done, saying what he has to say. So, I found that interesting. So, let me just start there. I highly doubt that Michigan is going to fire Coach Harbaugh based off the words of Brandon Jacobs. Now, I think that his resume speaks for itself as far as, what he's done with teams, the turnaround with him being there versus him not being there, and what he does in, really short amount of time as far as turning around teams and making them winning successes. So whether it's at college where he's done that everywhere he's gone, or even in the NFL where he took, a San Francisco team, yes, they had the talent, but they weren't winning. and turn them into, a contender every single year, a team going to the Super Bowl and losing, and then as soon as he leaves, the team just goes like this. Players decide that the year that he leaves, oh, I'm going to retire. That's not coincidence. So, I mean, as far as that part goes, that's how I feel about that. But, I mean, if you think about it, if the man didn't know what he was doing, he didn't know how to coach, why would all these teams be willing or be offering and sending out all these requests to him to coach? Why would they want to do that if the man didn't know what he was doing? The man did not know what he was doing. How has he had so much success wherever he's gone? I mean, it can't be luck, it can't be fluke every single time. You don't just luckily win every place that you go. You don't not know what you're doing and turn around every single team that you've coached on. It just doesn't happen. So I don't know where he's coming off with these comments. I don't know where he would think that this is even logical. But on top of that, to go further into that, he said that, basically it was the assistant coaches that were doing all the work, and they were the ones that had the knowledge and all that. So my thing is, one, let's say for argument's sake that Coach Harbaugh, he didn't know what he was doing, but he still surrounded himself with the coaches who had the expertise to get the job done. Would not that still stand to reason that he still knew what he was doing, regardless of whether or not he knew the X's and O's as far as getting everything done? If you still surround yourself with the people to get the job done, that still means that you know what you're doing. So we'll say that he's a CEO and he surrounds himself with all the people who are the parts that are, the parts that are put together to make the machine. He's still the brains of the operation. So he still knows what he's doing, whether he may not know how to micromanage different individual parts of it. He's still the head of everything that's making a successful, whether it's NFL team or NCAA team. But on top of that, even so, and I don't even think that's the case, but do you honestly think that these assistant coaches, all that are quote-unquote the brains and the reason why all these teams are successful, do you honestly think if they knew that he didn't know what he was doing, that they would all want to jump on board? No one's going to want to, coach or be with someone who didn't know what they were doing. So I don't believe that for 1 second. I just think that, to be honest with you, this is, you have to look at the context of who's making the comments and where it's coming from. Obviously this guy's just bitter and angry that he felt that he was better than what everyone else saw, because had he been as good as what he thought he was, he would have got more playing time. So that is what it is. Plus, I know that certain players or certain people have made comments about, maybe coach rubbing them the wrong way over, and I'm sure that's over a course of time of just the way he is, and I've heard some stories about that, but my thing is you would have heard a whole lot more people come out and just say, straight up that Coach Harbaugh, he doesn't know how to coach? Why is it only the one guy, and the one guy that's saying it is some bitter player that's just mad because, he didn't get his shine that he thought he was going to get? You would have seen a whole lot more players come out and say something. So I just don't believe it. I think that, he had his moment to vent, and he felt that he was going to destroy Coach Harbaugh, and I just don't see it happening, man. I mean, nobody takes you seriously. No one believes you, and definitely not Michigan. I mean, you're not going to say, well, he has helped turn around the program. He's helped recruiting be at the highest level consistently that it's been in years. But you know what? We're just going to go ahead and let him go because Brandon Jacobs said so. All right. So that's all I really got for that. I thought it was humorous, especially the part about him saying that he was going to have Michigan to fire him over, what he had to say, like anyone's really taking him seriously. So that's it for the video. Thank you for watching it. And if you like the video, definitely feel free to leave a like. Definitely, if you like the content that I'm bringing, subscribe to the channel. And try to share this video with as many people as possible. And just get the discussion going. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. Do you think that Brandon Jacobs has any validity to his comments? Do you really think that it's just Coach Harbaugh and a bunch of guys that are all coming together to make him look better than what he is? I remember hearing rumors about Jason Kidd in the NBA and that kind of being the same thing. But, there he is. He's still coaching, and, he's, coaching a young Milwaukee team and getting them to improve every year. So, I don't know, man. I don't believe it for 1 second. Anyways, thank you for watching the video, and have a great day. Peace.